I am an artist. I've legitimately hit #1 on Billboard. People think, oh, I don't read my social media. I absolutely do. I read comments. I respond, even negative ones.
I want to watch this video. I don't know how you found my stream. Most people found my stream because they're into chess streamers, but I will not be typecasted. Wait, let me test the audio.
What's up, guys? This idea started at the office when I was talking. What's up, guys? This idea started at the office.
That's pretty
Kanye,
good.
I love him, and you hate Kanye. So we were like, we should do a cancel culture middle ground.
Yeah,
Wait a
we thought
second,
it's really-
Kanye? I get that Kanye is a part of the conversation, but the title is "Should we cancel celebrities for their crimes?" What crimes has Kanye committed? He's been a dumbass, and he has views that I don't agree with, and he's ignorant about certain things. Skin monkey? No, man, I didn't see that shit. What? What are you talking about? But yeah, but like that's not a crime. That's really bad behavior, and you can hold it against him. Of course, the whole thing with canceling, from my opinion, is like you can't tell someone how to feel. If I don't laugh anymore when I listen to Louis C.K., you can't convince me to laugh, and I can't convince you not to laugh. So like, canceling to me is a stupid word to describe how we each individually feel about someone. I don't think it's always appropriate to go on a campaign against someone to try to convince other people to change their minds about someone, but it's fair to do sometimes. And I think those times are especially when we're talking about someone who's committed a crime. Not that our criminal justice system is perfect, but when someone's done something bad enough that they've harmed somebody, it's very inappropriate to go out of your way to convince people that they shouldn't feel that that's fucked. You know what I mean? So when we talk about cancel culture, we need to be clear, first of all, what category of behaviors we're talking about canceling. Is it really crimes, or is it just really unusual, weird shit, or is it views that don't do any harm but are shitty views? So what category are we talking about? And then are we talking about how we individually feel changing? Or are we talking about the behaviors we engage in, like me going on a campaign saying, hey, don't fucking vote for Andrew Cuomo when he runs in 2028 or some shit, because he's a rapist or whatever, allegedly. I don't know. I didn't read all the articles or whatever. So that's my little opening spiel, okay? And please feel free to chat. If you disagree with how I'm describing this, my whole thing is I'm not here to be pro or against cancel culture. I am just a huge critic of how people talk about cancel culture because, okay, I am a therapist. I've been a therapist for 3 years. I've been a social worker for like 6 years. I believe people can change. So I'm not here to say, oh man, you should never like Aziz Ansari and Louis C.K. Everybody's different. It's a case by case thing, and you're not always able to separate the art from the artist when the artist keeps making jokes that rub you the wrong way. You know what I mean? It's like everybody has the right to form whatever fucking opinion they want about someone. The questions really come into play when we talk about how we treat someone socially, what we do in terms of consequences, how much we exert ourselves to try to make sure that they don't have a platform. Deplatforming is probably it's a much more precise, just like a much more precise word than canceling. Because come on, some of the examples people talk about with canceling are very strange. Where like it's hard to even see that the person has suffered any consequences. Only by comparing to some ridiculous standard would you have to say Dave Chappelle or Louis C.K. who got nominated for a Grammy, or Bill Cosby who got let out of prison. You'd have to really make us. People losing their jobs, you do not have the human right to your job. I'm sorry. People lose their job for way worse reasons than sexual assault. So please don't get up in arms about this. Like, what is wrong with you? In general, there's been such a generational oppression of women by men. Like, if you know about how women used to be like treated as property and not even legally allowed to own property in like many societies, as far as I understand. To me, that's like, whoa, that's kind of like the most fucked up oppression that's ever existed historically. Half the population being subordinate in many different societies, not being treated as property, literally. It's fucking crazy. So like when you look at like men being held accountable for what was normal 50 years ago or 100 years ago or 150 years ago, it's like, yeah, hold people accountable. Doesn't mean anyone has to be fucking put to death or some shit. Anyways, we've watched like 7 seconds of the video.
What's up, guys? This idea started at the office when I was talking about Kanye. I love him, and you hate Kanye. So we were like, we should do it.
I like this. I like this one who's just like, I kind of feel both ways about Kanye.
Cancel culture.
So I'll just say I like
it's really important to bring up.
I like Kanye West. I don't think his music has necessarily always been connecting for me, but I understand that it's still quite good. I like Donda. I thought it was very good. Kanye has obviously some struggles that he's had with mental health and addiction, and he's been open about them. And I think he's a bit of a weirdo. I wouldn't want to work for him or something, but I don't know that he does an enormous amount of harm. I think he's just living life and being a guy. But Kanye's not. I don't know. Is he? He didn't do any. He didn't do that bad shit. What? I mean, he went to the White House and legitimized Trump, but he was having a manic episode. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna hold that against him. I think he also was the fucking guy who said George Bush doesn't care about black people.
May end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
He said that live. That clip earns you a lot of slack. I do like that he speaks his opinion despite the backlash. Yeah, I'd prefer if he could like work on informing his opinion a little bit. I think he doesn't know about a lot of shit like history. And I don't know a lot about history, but it's very easy to tell when someone talks about history and they don't know shit. It's embarrassing. And politics and a lot of things.
Other topics like pop culture to middle ground. So let us know in the
Also, I read an entire in-depth article about how the Kanye campaign, in terms of contracts that they had with really, really expensive law firms for their campaign and all their things, they were connected with law firms and other firms and companies that were notorious Republican firms in DC and the area and stuff. So I could find the article sometime. But basically, it's important to understand, like, Kanye's campaign was funded by right-wing power. And that's not hard to understand. But it's also not a conspiracy. They literally worked with law firms that were, like, Republican ones. I don't think he should be given political power, Kanye West. I hope that's not canceling him. Yo, if you don't make this person president, you're canceling them.
comments below what you want us to talk about.
As always, enjoy the episode.
R. Kelly, bye.
Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, R. Kelly, bye. Definitely.
I'm done with you. Get out of here.
But that's in your opinion. I'm not saying I'm for R. Kelly.
I just think if you support him, you're a dick, right?
Yeah. I mean,
And then it's their right to be a dick.
Yeah, I agree. That's perfectly put. But you can't, like, imitate his behavior because it was criminal. Right? I don't know. I don't stay abreast of all the R. Kelly discourse. I have such a problem with this framing. This is the huge Jubilee flaw. We brought pro and anti-cancel culture individuals. That doesn't make any sense. This is not an issue that you can take into two sides. It's not are you for or against cancel culture? And I hope the way I talked about it in the beginning of this was maybe helpful in showing that. I don't believe there's a for or against cancel culture. Actually, I have this running joke. I repeat my jokes all the time because, new audience, you still get a laugh. I have this one joke I'll make where I'm like, someone tells me like, I just had to work on like a paper about like World War II. This like in college or something, and I'm like, and I'm not talking about it in my work, by the way, with friends, but someone's like, I just had to write a paper about World War II, and I'll be like, for or against, and it always gets a chuckle, and basically I'm now realizing that's sort of what Jubilee does is that joke, but seriously, where they just go for or against. Cancel culture is not something that there's a for or against about. It's not like, do you like holding people accountable or not? And you can't just be like, well, has canceling gone too far, yes or no? Because the reality of the situation is, if there are like, how many instances of someone being canceled? What are we talking about? Say there's like 20 million instances in the world. Your average person knows about how many of them based on the media. So like, are we against all of them? Are we against some of them? Like, it's not a binary thing. The practice of no longer supporting people, especially celebrities or products that are regarded as unacceptable or problematic. Oh, so it's just no longer supporting them? How can you be against that? When I broke it down, I said, no, it's like if we're talking about the behaviors you do trying to make effort to make other people not like someone, then that's that next level where you could be like, hey, I don't think it's right for you to like stop being my friend because I still like, the Dave Chappelle shit or something. You know what I mean? Like but what if you were in that situation with a friend and you were like, I don't think it's fair that you stop liking me just because I like that stupid comedy special. Your friend, what are they going to say? Like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I like you again. You could say that's not a valid reason to hold it's not valid to hold that against someone, but you can't argue with someone's feeling or lack of trust or whatever. But they're literally just talking about me as an individual no longer supporting someone. They're not even talking about like trying to, like me cutting someone off because of it or something like that. So, I say this every time, get them better chairs. What the fuck? Look at those chairs. I don't want to sit on that they're there a lot longer than 12 minutes.
Hello, my name is Adib Kadir. I have a computer science degree, and I'm a product manager in the tech industry.
Hi, I'm Will Court. I'm a music student at USC.
Hi, I'm Joy Villa. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm anti-cancel culture.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Riebling. I'm a consumer insights specialist, and I'm pro-ish cancel culture. More on the side, but I'm looking forward to this conversation.
She's pro-ish, so she's finding that gray area. That's pretty chill.
Hi, I'm Seth Fowler, a law school graduate and teacher. I am pro-cancel culture.
Hi, my name is Alon.
I hate the way they've set this up. It sounds so ridiculous to me to be like, I'm pro or I'm anti-cancel culture. Does anyone else agree that sounds ridiculous? Or is that just me? I don't know.
I am a student, a history student, and I'm pro-cancel culture.
And I have my pro-cancel culture to the left and my anti-cancel culture to the right.
Yo, the acoustics? That's pretty sick.
I have my pro-cancel culture to the left and my anti-cancel culture to the right. I would buy an artist's work even if they committed a violent crime.
I would buy an artist's work even if they committed a violent crime. Okay, so what's a good example of this? What's a good example of this? Buying like OJ's If I Did It book? Or like, why does it have to be hypothetical? Why not like, I have bought an artist's art?
Humans are a series of impulses on a spectrum of time. Like, we are
Damn, bro, that's so true.
Changing, we're constantly evolving. Have any of you ever, honestly never not told a lie in your life?
Of course, we've all lied.
So are you a liar today?
No, not today.
So that moment that you told a lie, you can't be blanketed as a liar the rest of your life.
What's that called? Like argument ad absurdum. You just use an absurd comparison and then you act like it proves the point. He's just owning himself in his opening statement.
The amount of people that work on some of these projects, like think of like a Harvey Weinstein movie, right? He did terrible things. I wouldn't want to support Harvey Weinstein. But most of his victims are people that were in his movies. By not supporting a Harvey Weinstein movie, you're also not supporting his victims. So it's kind of like you're in a weird spot, right?
But you can't bring down the kingpin without bringing down the organization that he built.
I am very, very likely never going to see a Harvey Weinstein movie again. Is he still producing movies? Like,
So he's said something very interesting to me about like the whole cutting off the arm and to fix a cut. And I feel like the exact opposite, because when you talk about how like, oh, if you're canceling people, blah, 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 and they have good inventions, it's like, there's so many smart people that aren't toxic. And it's like, when you cancel someone that is toxic, it's sending the message to other toxic people, you cannot get away with this.
yeah.
Here's how I think of it. Like, I have the right to stop this.
She's like explaining basic accountability to them because they need it explained.
And if other people want to do that also, and we bond together, like the power's in our hands, and I feel like for me, I'm doing my part by.
That's the thing. Like, people will look at like fucking college students protesting Milo Yiannopoulos or whatever his name is, and like people will be like, "Oh, that's cancel culture." You know, in my day, anyone could fucking speak at a school, and it's like you're fucking canceling their speech. You weird projector. People protesting is free speech. If they're protesting to stop someone from speaking, that's still free speech. That's how it like supersedes it. Especially if it's a bunch of people. What are you gonna do? You're gonna blame a school for listening to their fucking students who pay them? Like, it's ridiculous. It's private property. It just makes no sense. No one has the human right to I don't have the human right to go speak at a big college.
Not choosing not to like mess with that person anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you
You know, go make a fucking podcast or something.
a question though. Do you feel like you should be the one making the decision, or do you feel like YouTube or Spotify should make the decision for you and take down people who they feel like offended a certain
It's a great, great question. That's a necessary question.
segment of the population?
I think it's two separate things. Like, I think I should have the power to make that decision. Of course, that's a very personal thing for me. But
So their music should be continue to be sold and available.
I personally don't think so.
Just don't listen to it. Don't buy it. You yourself,
Yeah.
absolutely
The answer is there's a line, right? There's a line where the platform should ban it. Because I mean, there's a reason I've never ventured over to 4chan, 8chan, whatever they fucking call themselves nowadays. Like, I'm sure there's some delightful people over there. Very fine people on both sides. But, yeah, I like moderation. And I moderate my chat, actually. So it can be a chill space. The thing with tolerance is when you tolerate hate, you're not more tolerant. You create a space where different people are tolerated. So it's if you tolerate hate and bigotry, you actually put many, many people at risk and exclude them implicitly from the platform. So it's not this net gain of just, oh, more speech the better. You know, and most speech is fine. It's, you know, like the coronavirus misinformation, you know, I don't mind that YouTube doesn't allow that. Are there people who think platforms should ban coronavirus misinformation, but who also like believe that COVID is a huge problem and like all the COVID misinformation is completely wrong? You know what I mean? Like, why is it always like anti-vaxxers, like COVID hoaxers, who also think that platforms should allow, you know, that sort of speech? It's obviously a self-serving belief. Oh, they say it's free speech, but it's just self-serving. I want to have access to this platform. It's never people who are like, man, COVID is a huge problem, and there's way too much COVID misinformation, but platforms should not have the right to do anything about it. Because it's like, so you just want to call out a problem and not do anything about it, because there's only one system that can do anything about it. So, okay, should stores actually not sell R. Kelly's music? Yeah, I agree. I agree with her about that, yeah. It's like, who fucking cares?
I don't like this. And you can even tweet about it and say no.
But then to start a boycott, that's why I
Yeah.
don't do boycotts.
People have different morals.
Like, I personally have the right. I withhold the right.
Okay, so they're not just talking about your personal decision. They're talking about that next level we were talking about of influencing others. So what's wrong with starting a boycott? In general, it's just bad.
I think all of us do, to not go and support these people we don't believe in. I would never tell you, wait, I'm going to go see
So she just doesn't believe in boycotts. Boycotts are mean, of all kinds.
the XYZ
And keep all the statues up. All statues are good.
movie, and you have to too. If you say no, you have that right. What cancel culture does is saying, I'm not going to see this person because I don't like this person, and nobody else should either. And that's why I hate it.
Cancel culture is out of control.
Okay.
Yeah, there's this weird like social thing to how they decide to sit down because they don't have to like decide privately in a little cubicle. They're like seeing each other and feeling it out and like, do I really want to stand here alone for 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
When it started, I think it was a good thing. It's like the Me Too movement, a good thing. But when you get the court of public opinion involved, I tell you, it becomes so horrible. I am an artist. I've
That is very imprecisely put. That makes no sense to me.
legitimately hit #1 on Billboard. People think,
look at his expression.
I am an artist. I've legitimately hit #1 on Billboard. People think, oh, I don't read my social media. I absolutely do. I read comments. I respond, even negative ones. When people say, I hope
She responds to negative comments.
you die, somebody should kill your family. You should get raped so that you have a baby illegitimately and you can, I mean, it is online bullying.
Cancel culture.
And what? She doesn't think anyone should. What did they cut out the rest of what she said, or like what's she? That's horrible that she deals with that, and frankly, not surprising. The internet fucking just brings out the worst in people. People act horrible on it and abuse each other. It's terrible. But like, so she doesn't think anything should be done about it.
Rationally is overall a net positive, I think. But there are sects of cancel culture, like the toxic people, that issue, the death threats. And of course, those need to be excised. Cancel culture originated out of compassion, the voice for the voiceless, being able to vote with your wallet, make a stand, your little retweet, your little like, turning things viral that wouldn't get seen.
This is something that, like,
he hasn't said anything.
It strikes fear in my heart right now. What's happening now is, you know, people are essentially choosing for you whether you should be, it's like let's say you wanted to boycott Coca-Cola or Nike or something. Imagine if stores started taking Nike shoes out of the store before you could even make the decision as a people to buy it or not buy it. And we need to have the right.
Yeah, but why would that hypothetical never be possible, right? Like, why do people do this in arguments? That is a completely impossible and therefore unhelpful hypothetical, because stores make decisions based on their interests, based on the stakeholders, the customers, and real people. So the only way that stores would ever decide to stop selling Nikes or Coca-Colas, which I would be a fan of, by the way, that I'd be like, that's dope. Why, like, yes, they should just decide not to, because that, you know, but only, and I'm only saying that, and I'm kind of joking, but not really. I'm saying that because the only way that would ever happen, realistically, is because popularly the market said, fuck that, we don't want them. You know, it's not this small minority that gets to have a say. It's the stakeholders who influence things. And a lot of people have the right to speak their mind.
Right? And the option at our level.
Do companies not have that right too?
Yeah, I don't think that they're trying to make you not buy the product. I think that they're saying, as a company, we do not agree with this, so we're not going to sell your product here.
Right.
When record labels stop playing their music or whatever, I feel like it's justified, specifically for victims, because when it gets out that that person did something like that, their music skyrockets. And for the victim, seeing that they're getting so much support for that.
That's so fucked. I didn't know that, but that's believable.
Right?
And then once
Especially
the
when they're
cases
dead.
are over, then sure, you can play their music more if they are innocent. But it's also like the justice system isn't always right.
Now we have a platform where everyone can share their opinion. You're like, hey, that makes me uncomfortable. And I think some people are going to have to be made examples of in order to set precedent in what's acceptable for us, our generation, and the society today.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that when we held people accountable, we always did it in the perfect, mature way, but people are people. Like I said, we live in a society, so you're going to see that people hold people accountable in, maybe, overzealous ways or...
The public should hold celebrities accountable when the justice system fails.
And people are still like, he didn't do it. We love R. Kelly. He would never. And most of the time when it's a celebrity being convicted, they can always buy their way out.
That's exactly who came to mind for me, too.
Yeah, I mean, what does this prompt mean? The public should hold celebrities accountable when the justice system does not? What does this mean? What is this should? People hold people accountable as a function of their feelings in response to the behaviors that they learn about a person. We shouldn't attribute, like the guy's, absurd example was just because someone lies once, they're not a liar, of course. And that's the case with most things. We need to always see the person as changeable, but yeah, I mean, we're pretty barbaric a lot of times, and the solution isn't to get rid of accountability, obviously. It's just to, try to do things in a restorative way.
Immediately, I was just like, ugh, first of all,
Oh shit! What up, dude?
What's up?
how many times in the United States justice system have we seen guilty people get off innocent and then you find off years later that happened? If the justice system doesn't come through, we as a people shouldn't just take that and be like, okay, well, I guess he's innocent. No, he did that, and let's take away his platform, and we will take that power away from him.
The justice system is it's just so imperfect. It's unbelievable. And I think
Yeah.
that situations
so what's the argument against this view? No, I only hold people accountable when the justice system does. It's what? That does not hold up to scrutiny, bro.
Jussie Smollett. I think that the justice system in those situations have failed. If we don't support the justice system a little bit...
How did the justice system fail in the Jussie Smollett case? I thought they convicted him.
Then it's kind of anarchy. But at the same time, I think that it's an individual decision, as the individual has the right to kind of not support them or, to do whatever they want to do,
I don't think we should show up at his house and beat him up.
Yeah, no, just nothing extreme. Nothing
Nah, probably shouldn't.
extreme.
If the justice system fails, what's important and what's happening now is that we do look at replacing, whether it's the district attorney or whatever the system is that's causing it to fail. People should go and address it so the next millions of people that go through that system go through a just system.
I think we all
Wait,
completely
what?
Justice, so then there's the district attorney or what's important and what's happening now is that we do look at replacing, whether it's the district attorney or whatever the system is that's causing it to fail. People should go and address it so the next millions of people that go through that system go through a just system.
By replacing the district attorney?
It's we don't have time.
Right.
We have the same problems with cancel culture as we do with the justice system. There's a lot of people that got the death penalty, right? We're giving people...
Yeah, name one. Name literally one. I genuinely, I can't think of one person who got the death penalty cancel culture-wise.
Their careers the death penalty by public, and kicking them out forever and saying we never want you back, right?
Are we? Because I've canceled the NFL since Colin
and what if they're
Kaepernick,
wrong?
and they're
You know what I
still
mean?
kicking strong.
What if we're wrong?
If it was accountable culture, I'd be on that side. Cancel. When I cancel you,
So she just has a branding issue with it. She's like, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
you don't exist. Deleted. Bye. Get out of here. No more money. We're done with them. Cancel.
We're just as imperfect as the justice system.
But R. Kelly, bye.
I just think if you support him, you're a dick, right?
Yeah.
And then it's their right to be a dick.
But it's their right to be
And
a
it's
dick.
our right to hate them.
And it's our right
That's right.
not
That's
to
First
buy
Amendment.
from them.
Right.
Cancel culture, it runs, I would say, codependently with activism. And as activism has changed, we're able to operate quicker and mobilize quicker in this digital space. It's almost in some senses, it's like digital activism. But I like compassionate cancel culture. If you look at the history of somebody and you look at how somebody responds when confronted, and you make your decision based off of whether they've seen any type of error and applied any type of value judgment, then I think it's totally your right whether or
All
not to
right,
support
good. It's
them.
almost
There
over.
are too many options.
Compassion. I like the
Yeah.
compassion.
And I love that you said it's your right.
I just think what's most important about anything is that if you're going to stop listening to someone, stop supporting someone, you know, do your research and make the moral decision for yourself of whether you want to support them or not. And that's all you can do as an individual. It's an individual decision.
We all kind of have the same opinion on a level. For the most part, we think that people deserve consequences, but I feel like we think it to more of an extreme.
Awesome.
That's a terrible way to summarize a pretty bad video, but I'm glad we watched it. That was fun.